So talk about College Hockey Inc. Just for people that don't know, like we've worked with you guys in the past and all that stuff, but just for the listeners, like what are you guys? What do you do? What's the purpose of College Hockey Inc. and what's kind of the mission in your role, and then more broadly for the organization?
Yeah, for sure. So it's kind of funny. Not a lot of people know what we do. We have like a big presence online, but at our core, we're an education organization. So we educate players, parents, families, coaches, advisors on all things college hockey. So eligibility, recruiting, any academic components they need to be made aware of. So that's kind of our bread and butter. Is we're a free organization. We're funded by the NHL to do this job, and you don't necessarily need an agent or an advisor. You can have one if you want, but we are that free resource for anyone looking to get more information on the NCAA.
So that's like like reaching out, having conversations. You guys provide information on just the path broadly and specifically. Do you do that by program too? Like, do you work in combination with the NCAA programs individually, or are you just kind of like a high level overview of the basics of what you need to know?
Yeah, I mean, we will do some stuff if we're asked, right? Like, do a seminar for this team, or put on some educational piece, or maybe tailor our research a little bit to include X, Y, and Z parameters. But really, we're funded by the NHL to promote the NCAA development path. So we're not affiliated with any NCAA school. It's really just we're highlighting that development path, and we try to stay not impartial, because that's not the right word, but every program has a fit for a certain type of player, right? And so if you're a super high draft pick and someone who is gonna make it to the NHL in the next couple years, there's an NCAA program that will fit your path, and that will be the right choice for you. If you're a late bloomer and maybe you're playing in a lower level at 16, 17, 18 years old, but you are eventually going to become a Division 1 player, there's a program that will fit your development path. And the biggest thing that I'm learning in this job is that um, it's just there's no one size fits all, right? College hockey is so broad, and it's going to expand, I think, significantly in the coming years, to the point where I think it will be the go-to pathway for players to go from minor hockey, you matriculate up to juniors, wherever that might be. And then if you have hopes of continuing your playing career after college, then the next logical step would be the NCAA.
Yeah, I think because the one thing that was always super attractive about college to me is that development arc and how you have the extra time. Like we were talking before this, just about with some of the families that are asking questions. Like there's just a lot of them just don't know a lot of information about what the path actually looks like. So like you were just in passing mentioning what the development model is of like a college style player. So if you had to outline what that is, like the key pieces of development that college hockey offers versus CHL style program? Like, what are the highlights of what that path looks like?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, the number one thing is that you're going to have time to develop. And by time to develop, I mean you're not pushed into playing so many games that you can't really learn from any mistakes, or you can't really have time to work on skill development. So one of the biggest benefits of choosing NCAA is the structure of your work week. You're going to practice, 4 or 5 times a week in the NCAA. In between those practice sessions, you're going to have ones that are more structured, systems, team practices. You're going to have others that are more closely related to skill development. Um, Within those days as well, off the ice, you're going to be working with coaches on video. So learning hockey IQ. How do I read this situation? Is this something that I should do in this position versus that position? Notifying or noticing the time and score aspect of your game, and developing and visualizing is a huge component of that. And then again, when you're not practicing doing video with the coaches, you're in the weight room physically developing into the most elite athlete you can try to become. They'll also put you through set exercises on injury prevention, which is super huge. And they say like rehab when you get hurt, but prehab if you don't want to get hurt, right? And so yeah, the injury prevention piece. And then finally the games, right? People don't really think of the NCAA games as mirroring an NHL schedule, just because of the quantity is so different. But if you look at the style of play, in order to hold your own and be a contributor in the NCAA, you have to be a complete hockey player. You have to compete on both sides of the puck. You have to physically know where to go and get there, but mentally figure out what is my duty. And if my line mate next to me misses his assignment, what's my next move, right? You have to anticipate at set. You think the game so much quicker just because the players are older, players are faster, stronger. Some guys are 24 and 25 in
Yeah,
the
for sure.
NCAA.
Yeah, the way I like explaining it is just there's a maturity about the college style game because probably mostly to do with the age and the actual physical development, the mental development. But I like that it turns into how you called it a work week, right? And it really that is what it feels like. Like having played college hockey, it felt and I treated it like this is a 9 to 5 job plus 2 hours at the start and 2 hours at the end for like practices and workouts. And that's how, for a more mature player, when you have that time to really grind down on what skills do I specifically need to work on, what kind of work do I need to be doing in the gym, you actually have time dedicated to doing those things. Where for younger players, they might not be quite ready to make that commitment where they can do that, where they're just too young, where they don't see the value of treating it like a job quite yet. So it's nice to see and nice to hear as they start to get to those higher levels and get older. There's actually a system there where they can hone in on these little details that you wouldn't really get in a junior program, even in these OHL programs that I see. Like some of them are top tier, top notch. They have everything that you need, but the player's mindset just isn't quite there yet to really take advantage of what those resources are.